Thank you. Thank you very much. The most important message in regards of cancer is every cancer is curable. There's not one single form of cancer that's not curable, and we all need to understand how simple and easy it can be. Nearly every cancer I know, every cancer I have seen, every patient I have seen could have been cured in 2 to 6 weeks from her or their cancer. And this is what my message is today. When my new book is called The Only Answer to Cancer, and this hour is called The Only Answer to Cancer, and at the beginning I like to explain to you what I really mean by the only answer to cancer. Because there can be only one single answer to your individual cancer. This is the main message. The same technique, the same therapy form that worked for somebody else will not work for you. And what works for them does not work for anybody else. To make this easier to understand, if somebody has a headache and this person takes a headache pill and the headache goes away from that pill, the same pill doesn't cure the headache in everybody else. Because in some person the headache is caused by a spinal problem. In the other person by toxemia, by too many poisons in the system. The next person is dehydrated and has a headache. The other person has stress and has a headache. So every single person has a completely different root cause for his or her own headache. The same is true for cancer. Every single human being has the exact, has his only, absolute only reason or root cause for his or her individual cancer. That is why people ask me, out of these 300 natural cancer cures that are known being effective and safe, which one is the best one? There is no best one. There's just one that works for you, and there's another one that works for the next person. It all starts with the big lie that cancer is a disease or illness. It is not. Cancer is not a disease. It is not an illness. It's the accumulation of different symptoms that they call cancer. And they give it different, complicated sounding nicknames. They give it nicknames that are based on Latin or Greek or Spanish roots. And this is where the problem starts. They act like when they tell you you have a certain kind of cancer, and it sounds impressive and scary, they imply to you they know what you have, why you have it, how it developed, and what to do to get rid of it. But that exactly is not the truth. So basically, if you understand that your medical doctor does not know why you have cancer, where your cancer came from, and how to cure it effectively. The medical profession has a very criminal way of faking statistics and lying to you. The cure rate of cancer is measured by the medical profession in survival rate of 5 years after diagnosis. So if you are diagnosed with cancer and you are still alive 5 years later in 1 hour, even if you die 2 hours later, you're in their statistics as cured. Even if you start dying the same day they diagnose you and barely make it through the 5 years, if you are still alive in 5 years in their statistics, you are cured. The medical profession, Dr. Simoncini, the great cancer doctor from Rome, Italy, stated very simple and clear, and he's an oncologist, and he is curing cancer patients simply with sodium bicarbonate, with baking soda. That's all he uses for over 20 years to cure cancer patients. And I come back to that in a moment when I come back to the individual ways of curing cancer. But Dr. Simoncini says the medical profession has maximum a cure rate of 2%. 2%. And that means that these 2% are still alive 5 years later after the first diagnosis of cancer. I know from personal research and from my colleagues that about 24 to 27% of all cancer patients that do absolutely nothing get healthy again. So if they fall in the hands of the medical profession, they kill at least of these 24 to 27%, 22 to 25% extra. People that would never had died before anyway. Then there is the stupidity and lie of early detection. Mammographies, for example, have never prevented anybody from getting cancer, prevented anybody from dying, anybody from surgery. It gives them only the opportunity to deal with you earlier and to make money on you longer. Because what they do will not prolong your life. There is no statistical evidence. There are no studies. There are no facts out there that early detection saves lives, prevents you from surgery, from losing your breast, or anything else. No, mammographies cause cancer. And the pressure on the breast of a woman doing mammography is about 50 pounds of pressure on the most sensitive tissue in the female body. And that means that if you have a lymph node that's not right, that's full with toxins, that may get cancerous along the way, and they put the pressure on it and it bursts, or it leaks through minor injuries into the system, you have full-blown cancer because of the pressure they put onto your body, onto your breasts, onto your lymph nodes. Every time you get an x-ray, every time a woman gets a mammography, she gets her cancer risk up 2%. Every single mammography enhances your cancer risk 2%. And on top of it, even if they find cancer, which they usually don't, they have no way of curing you. So what in the world does it do? It brings them money. They make more money on diagnostics than they make at the moment on treatments. And the early detection and the early diagnostic techniques are nothing else than recruiting techniques to recruit customers. So it's nothing else than creating customers. So it makes absolutely no sense. They talked men into all these prostate cancer diagnostics and early detection and colon cancer early detection. Nothing ever will help you to live longer or get cured. It just helps them to make more money on you. Chemotherapy is a leftover of the First and Second World War. It's based on mustard gas originally, forbidden in the Geneva Convention as a war chemical. That's what they put directly into the bloodstream of people. It's chemical warfare. It's created to kill people. It's not a cure. It's not a therapy. And the dumbest thing I have ever heard is to say we kill off everything and hope only the good stuff comes back. That would mean if you go in your backyard and you kill off the weeds and the grass and the flowers and do absolutely nothing and hope only the flowers and the grass comes back and the weed doesn't. It's the same absurdity. Radiation causes cancer. Nobody wants to live next to a nuclear reactor. Every doctor in the world will tell you, if he or she honest, that chemotherapy causes cancer. Radiation causes cancer. After one set of chemotherapy, you cannot be an organ donor anymore. you are usually sterile, infertile, after one treatment of chemotherapy. Doesn't tell you that everything? Radiation burns away healthy tissue. And chemotherapy just shrinks the tumor for a very short amount of time because everything shrinks the second you get chemotherapy. So now, you have the tumor that shrinks for a moment to get ready to explode. The second it gets air again. Then you have surgery, and the surgery spreads the cancer throughout the entire system. Because what surgery does is getting your immune system that's already down to begin with completely out of whack. You get the dangerous toxic medication. Do you know what anesthesia is? It's killing you to a point where you can still be brought back. That's what anesthesia is. So, and you think that could be something good? No. It kills you in the whole meaning of the word. And parts of you might not come back. That's why they do the test next day and talk to you to see if your brain is still functioning. We need a couple of doctors with a functioning brain first. But the main issue is really that we need to understand we cannot trust anybody else with our health or our life. We need to think for ourselves. We need to make our own decisions. So now let's talk about cancer, the physical causes of cancer. First of all, the most important thing, and since you have the possibility to talk to my friend Fred Van Loo here in person, I have never heard anybody being that competent about talking about energy and water, but also the protection for electromagnetic frequencies or electromagnetic chaos from your cell phone, from your computer, from your TV. You cannot believe how dangerous it is to have a cell phone in your pocket, because as a male you might get testicular cancer just from that. The rate of brain cancer will go up like crazy in the next couple of years because of cell phones. And the tumor will be always on the side where you hold your phone most. If you are left-handed, it will be on the left side. If you're right-handed, it will be on the right side. And Fred has the solution. Also, if you go to his website, www.ewater.com, the letter E and then water.com, you get all the information you want. He has a Trinosol website, which is an educational website with seminars and everything, and you can listen for free and get the education you need to make sophisticated decisions to protect yourself. You need to protect yourself. Nobody else will protect you. They want your money. And the sicker you are, the more money they can make on you. The more scared you are, the more money they can make on you. The weaker you are, the more they control you. So and this is where we all are in deep trouble. The second we give our life into the hand of these people. And I mean these people are the people that are the #1 cause of death in the world, in the civilized Western world, the medical profession. And the hospitals are the main cause of infection and deadly infections. So if you're in a hospital and you're in the hand of the medical profession, you're as good as dead. So stay away. Have a healthy lifestyle. You need to look, and I didn't have the chance to really read Victor's book, but please go there in the break and get his book. It is so unbelievable what's in there. The entire amount of information, the holistic global amount of information that's available already to Victoria's wonderful book. So get the information, get educated, stop believing in anything they are telling you because they are a business. Let's say a medical doctor has an average of 300 patients. If they are all healthy, he's broke. So what intentions does he have to cure you or keep you healthy? None. And then these illiterates have not the slightest idea about health because they study pathology and death, which means the study of illness and death, and chemical intervention of symptoms. So it hurts, your finger hurts, they cut it off and say, see, no finger, no hurt. Very simple solution, isn't it? And then the next finger and the next finger and the hand and the arm, until they made enough money, and then they just put you off into a hospice, which nobody pays anymore after Obama gets his say. They just cuff you behind the house somewhere, put you in the backyard and leave you there until you grow flowers. So it is the last moment for each and every one of us to be even able to have the power to fight back, because you're all still functioning. Maybe you're functioning on a low level because you're half asleep from the brainwashing of the media. If you have cancer, you have to get chemotherapy. It's not even a therapy. It's a poison. So now you get radiation therapy. They burn the heck out of you. Then they slaughter you. They cut you open and spread the cancer throughout the entire body. And then they say, oh, it's a fast-growing, very aggressive cancer. They don't tell you they made it fast-growing and very aggressive. So and this is really where I am coming from. I'm done with it. I'm fed up with it. I'm not willing to take these lies any longer and see innocent people die. I have the Institute for Statistical Medicine in Europe conducted a study and found out I have a cancer cure rate of 92.3%. I have seen 35,000 cancer patients, some with other so-called incurable diseases, but an average of 35,000 patients, and 2.2 million seminar attendees and 7 million readers just for my very first book, which I wrote when I was 14 years old, which is still in print today in the 49th printing. One of 11 best-selling books. So now they come up with brand new things that I wrote 40 years ago when I was 14 years old. But they just uncovered it. So we all need to understand that if you read what Victorius wrote, he already wrote 25 years ago what they come out today and tell you it's brand new knowledge and they just have figured it out. No, he wrote it already 25 years ago and published it. So coming back to electromagnetic frequencies, Fred Van Loo is the main expert, and I have spoken, I get about 800 offers a day from people that ask me to promote their products. 800 a day, in average. So I don't care, and I don't even look at most of them. I look at the results. I'm a result-oriented person. Somebody says, I'm an expert in diabetes, and I say, how high is your cancer, how high is your cure rate for diabetes? If he says, no, maybe 20%, I just don't even talk to that guy anymore. Get up and leave. He's wasting my time. So if you want to talk to an expert, you talk to Fred. You ask him about water, you ask him about filtration, and anybody that doesn't have a shower filter is bathing in potential cancer. Because the chlorine and fluoride that comes out of your shower head turns your shower into a chlor gas chamber. So that's the same gas that Adolf Hitler, the criminal, killed 6 million people with. So you come out of your shower and you think, wow, I'm so dizzy, it must have been too hot. No, it's not been too hot. You are half dead. So it is very simple that you have to cut off the unnecessary bombardment of cancerous elements like electromagnetic frequency, fluoride, and chlorine. You get Fred's whole house water system. You get his shower filters. Then you can even feed your animals or give your animals water to drink that doesn't kill them. What do you think why your cats and your dogs all of a sudden get human illnesses? It's from the chlorine and fluoride in the drinking water. And of course in the preservatives and aspartame and all these toxic elements. Every form of artificial sweetener, Every form of artificial sweetener will kill you, not may. It will make you fat like a pig, and it will kill you. You will die much, much younger and earlier than you have to. So it all starts with looking at the facts. So what do I do that's messing up my life, my quality of life, my energy level, my level of happiness, my level of success? That's what it's all about. Because health means you have good friends, you have success in your life, you have great relationships, you do the job you like to do. Health means spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, as a unit. There's nothing as a little bit of health, or I'm a little bit sick. No, you are sick or you are healthy. It's like being a little bit pregnant. We all know that's a difficult task. So you cannot be a little bit healthy or a little bit sick. You're sick or you're healthy. And now here is a sentence that nearly killed me a couple of times in my office when I said it to my patients. You caused your illness, no matter what you have. Don't come up with the excuses and self-pity party and whining and complaining. Oh, I didn't cause it myself, it just came over me. No! See, whenever I gain 10 pounds, I never ever once in my life put the chocolate in my mouth by accident. It's your decision. Nothing happens on its own. Nothing happens by accident. It's your decision and it's your action that makes you sick or makes you healthy or keeps you healthy. Your decision, nobody else's. And here is what I can offer you. If you start with very simple elements, over 90% of the body is created by water. So the entire body is basically a big water bucket. So this water is like a river that's sitting. If a river sits for 3 days, it gets rotten and dirty, all the fish in it dies, everything is dead. But if the river is flowing and you dump toxins into that river, it's not a problem at all because the river is cleaning itself. So since we know from Otto Warburg and Max Planck, that both got the Nobel Prize in medicine for proving that cancer cannot grow or exist in an oxygen-rich, alkaline environment, we know we just need to keep our body alkaline and oxygen-rich to prevent cancer. So that's not rocket science and known since 1936. And so why is your medical doctor not telling you that? That's my question. So it is very important that you understand the more you drink, the healthier you are. But it's not the water or the amount of water. And that's why you have to talk to Fred and listen to his lectures and go to his website, ewater.com, and you go to the Trinisol website and you listen to the seminars, and you understand why it needs to be energy-rich water. It needs to be water with the right frequencies. It needs to be living water. Nothing dead will give you life. And while you have the possibility in the breaks, please talk to Fred. You will never find anybody that's that knowledgeable about these issues like electromagnetic frequency or water, living water, energized water, and so on than Fred has. And this is where you need to start. You need to start with the basics. When I told a cancer patient, you caused your cancer, usually they wanted to kill me. Or they started this whining and complaining, I didn't cause my cancer, I don't want to have cancer, I don't want to die. And then this helpless thing, I don't know what to do. You eat like a pig, change it. You don't drink, change it. So, and this is where it all starts. Where we all need to take responsibility. We need to take responsibility for our own health and our own life. Some people are overweight because of conditions that are in the body, and the conditions need to be fixed first, like the thyroid or the metabolism needs to be fixed. But that's a different story. And in my books, you find ways how to do it step by step, or you go to my website, instinctbasedmedicine.com, and you find all the information for free. So it's www.instinct-based-medicine.com. And you find all the information there for free, or drleonardcoldwell.com. Both sites connect to each other. But you need to inform yourself. You need to be able to make educated decisions. And I just talked to a very nice gentleman that told me that his doctor told him he cannot have salt because he has high blood pressure. As I said before, high blood pressure is not caused or supported by salt. The opposite is true. The more salt you eat, the healthier you are, the better your blood pressure is. But it needs to be sea salt. So the cell has a pressure from the inside. And the cell needs a co-pressure from the outside, counter-pressure from the outside. And without salt, first of all, you don't get hydrated because the water just runs through. It doesn't stay in your system. On the other hand, the salt gives the water the consistency to be able to produce the pressure the cells need to have a counter-pressure to not get mutated or atrophied. So you need salt, and you need a gallon of water, living water, energy-rich water a day to be healthy and to stay healthy. Then we all, through breathing, even just simple breathing, we toxify our system. Through everything we eat, everything we do, we toxify our system. Just existing toxifies our system because it's in the earth, it's in the ground, it's in the soaps, it's everywhere. These toxins are usually created to harm us, to make us sick, so that they can cure us and treat us for the conditions and illnesses and symptoms they caused at the first place. So now, here we go. A cure for cancer is Laetrile, vitamin B17. It's, if you have the apricot, and an apricot, you have this big stone in the middle, and you open up the stone, there's a seed in it, it looks like an almond, which is basically Laetrile, which is basically vitamin B17. Cures cancer tumors all the time. There's no side effects known today. A doctor in California cured 5 to 7 cancer patients just with vitamin B17. He goes public and says, I have a dirt cheap cure for cancer tumors. Here are the patients that are cured, and I just did it with B17. They took his license and they put him in jail. A licensed medical doctor that cured cancer patients have been put to jail, and his license been taken away for curing his cancer patients in a natural way. Because the criminals, see, even if I say the medical profession is the #1 cause of death in America, it's not true. It's your government. It's the American government. It's the FTC and the FDA. These are the criminal organizations that prevent you from knowing about safe, effective, natural cures and make it available and make sure it's not available to you. And the worst criminals are the American Cancer Society. These crooks are the forefront bulldog bodyguards for the pharmaceutical industry. They prevent you from knowing what works naturally, safe and effective, and from being able to get it. Because the FTC and the FDA, mainly the FDA in that case, make sure you cannot promote vitamin B17 as a cancer cure or anything else, and they try to make sure you don't even get it. A nurse in Canada cured cancer patients for decades with Essiac tea. It's just 5 simple ingredients, and even the poor nurse got knocked down all the time. And it's known as a cancer cure, and they even tried to get Essiac out of the American market. Like Eliotin cures diabetes too. Usually in 4 to 5 months, Eliotin cures diabetes too. But they even want to make this illegal to come into the United States, which is just, it's not even a supplement, it's just food. Then we have vitamin C injections, intravenous injections, aloe vera injections cure cancer. We have oleander soup that cures cancer. We have so many different mushrooms. There's a mushroom from Thailand that cures cancer. There is oxygen therapy. I worked in my clinics in Europe, mainly, well, it's the head of my medical department, Dr. Holger Krone, a licensed MD, usually used oxygen more-step therapy after Professor Manfred von Ardenne, which means we take a quart of blood out, enriches with ionized oxygen, lead the blood back, and it's like legal doping. All of a sudden, wow! You have all the strength in the world and your blood is full with oxygen right away. You do this 12 times and you're kind of like brand new. So that cures cancer. Professor Manfred von Ardenne made pictures, and I have done it in my own hospital and I have seen it with my own eyes. We blew ionized oxygen. We put a camera and the pipe in to the colon of a colon cancer patient and blew ionized oxygen directly on the tumor. And we could watch the tumor disappear. So that is known since the 30s somewhere. Professor Manfred von Ardenne was the guy who kept all the old Russians going when there was still the Soviet Union. And the second the wall came down and the Soviet Union disappeared and they didn't have access anymore to Professor Ardenne with his oxygen therapy, they all died off within a year. So, and then of course, you get the book from our friend Victor, and you learn how to alkalize and enhance your system with oxygen in a natural way just by using food, nature or God-giving food. You have a lot of greens, you get a lot of chlorophyll, you get a lot of chlorophyll, you get a lot of oxygen. It's not rocket science. So, we all need to understand better. And this is why my main goal is to fight for an amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America for health freedom and patient rights. Because at the moment you don't have rights, you are owned by the government. You are personal property of Mr. Obama, if you know it or not, but you are. And if he gets through with his health care, bye-bye. So, we all need to wake up and get up and stand up for ourselves. And it's our responsibility to do that. So the first step, when you are diagnosed with cancer or you feel there's something wrong with you, you feel not right at all. You have lack of energy or you're dizzy all the time, you don't know where it's coming from, you have pain that wanders all over the place, whatever it is, you just do, first of all, a really good cleansing program. The best cleanse out there I could find is from www.mybepure.com. There's a 21-day cleansing program that gives you the foundation that every cell is cleansed on the cellular level in the system within 21 days. Then you get Victoria's book and start being on his raw food diet for at least 3 months. Better is 9 months. If you're diagnosed with cancer, if I would be diagnosed with cancer, I would be on a year or two only on his diet no matter what. See, I am a really horrible person because I tell you all this stuff, but believe me, I'm not a raw foodist. I like food too much. And I tell my patients and everybody else, if you're healthy and you do 70% right and 30% wrong, you're still fine. So I can still eat whatever I want once in a while. And if I overdo it and I pay for it, I don't whine and complain. I just say, you idiot, you did it again. But you take it. But if you are sick, no matter what you have to be 100% doing the right thing. There's not 1% anywhere else. Because every illness is caused by lack of energy. The longer you keep the lack of energy going, the worse it gets. And that is the most important point. You need to get your energy back. You get on healthy living water. You protect yourself from electromagnetic frequencies with Fred Van Loo's electromagnetic frequency protectors for your computer, for your cell phone, and so on. And it's really important you get the shower filters, you clean your water, and you drink only clean water. You get on Victoria's raw food diet, and you're already saved. You might not be completely healthy because here is where I come in with my 86% that are stress-related. Remember what I said this morning, 86% of all illness and doctor visits are stress-related. The Stanford University